feminists were saying in the second wave of feminism that gender is a construct, right? They said there's nothing biological about men and women that should inform their roles. But this is completely wrong, okay? Because scientists, for example, in the book The Female Brain by Luann Brizendine, and I think you should buy that book because it's really good. It really helps you to see the difference between men and women. In her book The Female Brain, she says, scientists have documented an astonishing array of structural, chemical, genetic, hormonal, and functional brain differences between men and women. And in his book, Why Gender Matters by Dr. Leonard Sachs, he says, and he actually calls the 60s to the 90s the dark ages when it came to our knowledge of men and women, okay? And it coincides with the second wave of feminism. He says, during the Dark Ages, that period from the mid-1960s to the mid-1990s, it was politically incorrect to suggest that there were innate differences between girls and boys. And he says, today we know that the innate differences between girls and boys are profound. Boys and girls do differ from one another in systematic ways that should be understood and made use of, not covered up and ignored, right? That's just one example. Another example is that they said there's no such thing as a maternal instinct. That was a real big thing for the feminists during the 60s to 70s. There's no such thing as a maternal instinct. Women, they're just conditioned into, because their dads and moms just give them dolls to play with. That's why they just, when they get older, they start thinking, oh, I need to have a baby. And there's no maternal instinct. We don't need children, and they don't need to have, they don't have any connection with children. It's just something completely constructed. In her book, The Female Brain, by Luann Brizendine, that I just mentioned, she has a whole chapter called The Mommy Brain, okay, which actually talks about how the brain of a woman changes, the effect that it has when she holds a baby. That's not even her own baby. Then the effect it has when she does have a baby, how her brain completely changes. Right? Subhanallah. And now, when they're saying breast is best, right? They're trying to reverse all of the stuff that feminists were fighting for before, which was that, oh, you can just leave your child, just go back to work straight after you've had a child. Don't worry, there's no such thing as maternal instinct. The powdered milk is better for your child. Now they're doing a complete U-turn, right? And what happens when you go to the antenatal clinic? There's a big picture of a woman breastfeeding, right? As soon as you walk in. And as soon as you give birth, the breastfeeding lady is around having a chat with you, trying to encourage you to breastfeed. So they did a complete U-turn on that, right?